It's Tuesday, October 26, 2021. There's an interesting, on CBS this morning, there's an interesting lineup of mixed commercials to actually talked about events, which I'm trying to read between the lines, but here's a nurse.
There's strength in every family story.
Learn more about yours at Ancestry.
If you have a typical airline credit card, you're not getting double miles on every purchase.
You're right. I only get extra miles on some types of purchases.
May I?
Please.
With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double...
So, this is parent-teacher night. And here's a flat version of the Rapoggle. And here's one parent, and here's all the classroom. And over here is the typical teacher.
Miles everywhere. Yes.
And this is according, because the brand advertising here is Capital One. I have no idea about the company. I don't know their employees. I don't even know a single employee at low level, because God only knows I never know who is hiding up at CEO level.
Everywhere is great, but where can we use them?
You can use them on any travel purchase, not just some travel purchases.
Venture gets a gold star.
What's in your wallet?
Things you start when you're 45. Coaching,
Cologuard.
new workouts, and screening for colon cancer. Yep, the American Cancer Society.
Usually this has something to do with my two toilet paper marriages and quantum string and braiding at Quanta.
Society recommends screening starting at age 45 instead of 50 since colon cancer is increasing in younger adults. I'm Cologuard. I'm convenient and find 92% of colon cancers, even in early stages. I'm for people 45 plus and average risk for colon cancer, not high risk. False positive and negative results may occur.
You realize there's some secret takeover of a media company which was never going to be allowed in the Strict 9 district, but it looks like it happened and now it's a big problem.
Ask your provider if Cologuard is right for you.
Introduce Mr. How are you, Vlad? You're making my dreams come true. Love being here with you guys. How are you doing? Well. Yeah, well. Hanging in there. Okay, a couple of stories we think you'll be talking about today. Wonder what they are. I thought we were going to come in with the It's Electric music because you get an electric car story off the top. That's a good one, Tony. Not so bad. Electric Avenue. Here we go.
From my point of view, this could be looked at like gloating. The planet is falling apart. The electric security has been compromised. It's hurting the people of everywhere. And this is how they're behaving, using all the wrong signs and symbols on broad daylight TV.
Go. We're starting with a major announcement in the push to get more electric cars on the road. To your point,
Now this is double talk because it's HERTZ, HERTZ, which is an electric, amplification science principle. It's also a word that, this, HERTZ, HURTS, the human embodiment of the outside physics principle, of science principle of Hertz, when it hits the body and it makes blistering sores, or it splits because it's walking through and the pressure changes dramatically, or the bottom area of your pregnant belly skin just splits open and cuts open, like an open sore wound, into these tributary looking design. That's Hertz. But this is how they polish it up for a conversation amongst everybody.
Tesla cars. It's part of an ambitious plan to electrify its vehicle fleet. Hertz said it will install charging stations in more than 100 markets across the nation, which will make electric cars more accessible for everyone. The announcement lifted the market value. I know Nate's like shaking his head because the market value of Elon Musk's company rose to, get this, $1 trillion with a T dollars. I know.
Time to invest.
That's right. Double this year.
Because all these big franchise idiots care about is how do we market it, how do we make money out of it, how do we sell shit. That's all they care about. That's a problem.
That's right. It is now, Tesla is now the 6th U.S. company to reach that milestone.
So has anyone here opened up the hood of a Tesla before?
Yeah.
There's nothing inside that you can see. It's just you open the hood and there's another hood.
Yeah. Okay.
It's another trunk. It's another trunk. Yeah.
Maybe one day, Jerika, you and I will be able to be in the presence if we aspire.
I went to the dealership. This is not like my personal Tesla.
I have to give my wife Latoya a shout out because years ago when they announced that Tesla was coming out, she said, honey, we need to invest right now.
What I want to know is how did he get a life where he had disposable income to make investments? I've never had extra income. I've been struggling month to month just to find clothing and just to find food and a shelter. How did this man, how was he born with such a silver spoon of a bank account with a education and with an investment plan? I'm just curious how that works. If I'm in New York and he's in New York, in the state of New York, in a century 19 leading into a century 20.
And I hesitated, and
But you did.
yesterday she looked at me while we were driving.
How can you not be happy about love? I'll tell you why. The niece of Japan's emperor, Naruhito, tied the knot yesterday and gave up her royal title to marry a commoner. Former Princess Mako told reporters after the wedding that her husband means everything to me. That's a quote.
This never happened with Romer, never happened with Tiafreo. This is an isolated event. If this is how they're trying to come to terms with the disgusting 1999 event that was pushed by the braiding company of Quanta, I don't know what to tell you. I went to a church. I told Romer to stop calling. I was to marry someone else. I didn't want calls. I didn't want to see him. I didn't even want to speak to him. I was waiting for my betrothed to come back to New York and pick me up. That was it. And then from there, it was the incessant calling. Then I went out. And then all of a sudden, it's now I'm pregnant, and now I'm crying, looking at this thing every day, going, I want to kill myself. I do not want to wake up every day married to this. It is like the most disgusting outcome ever. What the fuck is wrong with New York?
And get this, she apologized to anyone who had trouble with their marriage. Here's why some people had some trouble. Some people in Japan consider her husband, his name is Kei Komura, the commoner son of a single parent, to be unworthy of a princess. So before the ceremony, Mako hugged her family goodbye outside the palace. Look at that. She is set to depart from the imperial family, which is required.
This looks very Disney princess. This is not what I've been living.
For Japan's married princesses and moved to New York to be with her husband.
Nice. Not so much of a commoner, he's like an attorney, right?
Well, not of royal blood.
I mean,
and so
he's got a good job.
He does have a good job, and it's increasingly harder for monarchs across the planet to marry others with royal blood because there are not that many of them.
I feel like we're the #1 destination for the offspring of kings and queens.
I don't get that. How are we the #1 destination? I wouldn't move to New York purposely. I fell out of a vagina here. I got stuck here in some kind of quicksand.
Princes and princesses here, right?
Yeah, we do to America.
We'll embrace it. Meet me in Zamunda. This is not uncommon, though. Of course, William and Kate and Harry and Meghan, and even my favorite monarchs, Rainier and Grace Kelly. Remember that?
Never even heard of a Rainier. Grace Kelly Didn't she dance with Fred Astaire? I only heard it in a Madonna song reference in the 1980s. The people around here, their etiquette is not of the highest anything. There's no polish, there's no finishing school. The TV people, the TV folks, the TV platform kids, they stole all the etiquette classes and kept to themselves. And the rest of us, it's like eat with your hands and pick your nose.
Remember that? Yeah. All right. Got an update on a story from yesterday. Remember that Tampa Bay Bucks fan who was given the ball from Tom Brady's historic 600 touchdown pass? Byron Kennedy made a swap to give the ball back, but Brady told Monday Night Football that Kennedy should have held on to it. Listen. Yep.
Byron realized he lost all of his leverage once he gave the ball away. He should have held it and then seen as much leverage as
amateur would. Yeah.
Football and 3 white guy references. I'm shocked. I don't know who this guy is or this guy. He's labeled right there. But now that's an interesting thing. Apparently some big thing happened this week. Some kids, some 600 ball. I wouldn't have known. If he handed me the ball, I'd say thank you and I would have held onto the ball. He needed it back. Give it back. It's his ball. Apparently there's some big thing that goes on. I have no idea what it means, and I have no idea how to research it, unless they tell you over here. But apparently now this kid gets Tom Brady says at the end of this that he gave him 1 Bitcoin, which is like $63,000. I'm like, wait, for a ball that you gave him and then took back? I'm like, how does that happen?
Brady's sweet.
Like, where are these people in the world, and why am I so left out of it? I'm just so curious.
For the rest of the season, but an amateur move on his part.
Hey, I think it worked out pretty well. It just showed kind of what he got right there from it. But I'm also giving him a Bitcoin, which, I mean, that's pretty cool.
All right, so he didn't get the ball, but he got a Bitcoin worth $63,000. Not too bad. We'll be right back.
Remember when no dream was too big? And you could fearlessly face the unknown. You still can. When you have a rock you can depend on for life, you'll be unstoppable. Like the millions of people who rely on Prudential for financial planning and investing.
Well, that's interesting. Who's running Prudential, if that's how this advertising thing is going.
Who's your rock? And that means eczema or atopic dermatitis under control.
Hide my skin, not me.
By hitting eczema where it counts, Dupixent helps heal your skin.
This is some of the most disgusting displays.
Of eczema. And that means long-lasting, clearer skin. And fast itch relief for adults.
Hide my skin, not me.
By helping to control eczema with Dupixent, you can show more with less eczema. Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can...
They have 2 words for this. They have eczema and psoriasis. And then they sell the magic pills in magic programming to try to change their chemistry in the main machine that's causing the eczema and psoriasis and the interaction. But then you got to be careful that it doesn't affect your liver, because every magic pill has some alternate effect.
Can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor about...
To just let it go.
Problems and low white blood cell counts that make...
This one's regarding cancer.
Or other symptoms of an infection, a severe or worsening rash.
Called whatever this is.
Or breastfeeding. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Ask your doctor about...
Oh, wait.
Right now, extremists around the country are jeopardizing our health care and taking away.
That's all the traffic in New York at the moment.
8-minute delays inbound.
And here's the the date. Now, there's a storm watch. They say currently my weather's not as bad as what they're saying on the news. That's what the SKYDOME looks like, and that's what outdoor looks like. I haven't had as much rainfall as they're stating on the news, which is not unusual. But what is unusual is, I was thinking about this. I'm like, okay, so now as an environment, the sky's electric arc and the ground, which they in electricity have the wiring, and then they have a grounding force. So now, curiosity, the sky above, when electric hits on pictures on the internet, it comes from the sky down to the ground level. Except in my case, I've caught the lightning, which is what they call it, the electric is the lightning. I've caught it, instead of coming down, it goes sideways. It doesn't fully electrify all 10 dendrites at the same time. If we do like a neural body, an electrification of the in neuropathy and in neurology, it has a body that is not it's not electrified all at the same time, so the impulse control is not exactly the same. And sometimes the dendrites, it's not like it's shooting from one side and ending at another either. It's kind of traversing, but it has a really odd pattern. That is bizarre for human sustainable life on a planet. Normally it goes from top to the ground bottom, so that way there's an interconnection between the terra firma that you stand on. So that's interesting. The other thing is that we don't really get too many lightning storms at all. Like, so I don't know, is the system just not going through like a healthy cycle? Are they just not sending healthy weather patterns into the New York area, or at least into Bayside, Queens, and Long Island? Because there has been so few lightning and thunder storms and interactions between the ground that we walk on and the sky above. That is a concern at weather pattern for certain. And I don't hear anybody on this television speaking of it. I was not born to a family who thought of these things. I have to think about this. So that's on the electrical pattern of planetary, not just, but I'm also in an area where the uppercase gamma field and the lowercase gamma field and the interaction when it's sunny outside causes all sorts of health problems. I say I'm currently traversing inside this topiary labyrinth. I don't know why I didn't get a square. If this is uppercase gamma, this is lowercase gamma, and these are all of the functions of some sort of human in some capacity that I haven't met or been briefed upon what to call them, what language they speak, how they identify, that sort of thing. But they claim that we live on a sphere like this. This is what the backyard at the moment looks like in sky painting. And it's just like a steady rain. But as far as electric and lightning storms, there's no thunder going on. There's no lighting of the sky. It's just a steady, like, gray-white color. I'm going to pause this and go down outside, get live color. So that's the color right now of the upper gamma field in the back. Can I just get past? I'm sorry. Thanks. So it's just like this white whatever, but it's a steady electric color. and field. It does not have like lightning flashes or lightning bolts, and it's not dark in the background, like in a hindsight, with a foresight flash of a bolt looking like interaction. It's just in the hindsight, it's incredibly bright, so anything that happens in the foresight kind of gets washed out. You don't really see it unless it interferes with the color and changes the shape of like my hand in the whatever. So so that's that. It's October 25th, I believe, 26th, 2021. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. And it's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken.